Good.
Okay, you're not rocking that high top fade no more.
Nah, so
It's so good to see you. You went to the barber shop
man,
with
I
your
had I
from.
I had to get my hair cut.
Okay, you're not rocking that high top fade no more.
Nah, that's been. I think I cut it off. I cut it off when a little bit right after my sobriety journey.
Yes, and that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah.
We're waiting on a couple of other guests to come on to let me, I'm not able to find them, Tasia and Tammy. So hopefully they'll be joining us here in just a moment. I'm telling you, we're all in Dallas and it's raining cats and dogs right now.
Yeah, I, it's been raining on the east. It has been raining a lot, especially in Atlanta.
Oh, so you're in Atlanta now.
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta right now.
So did you move from Vegas to Atlanta or is this like a temporary thing for you?
Yeah, I was in DC for a little bit and then I came to Atlanta. So I'm definitely not going back to Vegas. Definitely not going back.
So what, did you have a bad time or was it affecting your journey or what?
No, just starting a new journey. Um, Vegas has a lot of trauma, and that may be because that's where I'm born and raised.
Right.
Um, I just I just wanted to start over new. Um, but yeah, I mean, I may visit Vegas
Yeah.
soon, but I'm definitely not going back. I not moving back.
Right. Well, we're here today to talk about your sobriety journey. And you just a few days ago, or maybe a week or so ago, announced that you were on year two of your
Yeah,
sobriety journey. So, congratulations. And I really want
thank
to know,
you.
I kind of want to break it down because that's one of the things that I, in my practice help people with is moving, letting go of those addictions and those, toxic behaviors, things like that that hold us back from, really pursuing our journey. So I want to talk to you about that. So you're at year two. Tell me, I think we were probably talking this time last year or earlier this year. What has happened in this last year for your journey?
Oh man. I guess on this leg of my journey, I have been practicing a lot more of self-forgiveness. Um, yeah, self-forgiveness. I've done a lot of reflecting on mistakes that I've made because I struggled a lot with shame and things that I've done while I was heavy in my addiction. And I was having a conversation with my girlfriend, and I think that she really made me see that, like, yo, I don't think that you're fully forgiving yourself for, the things that you've done. And when when she put that into perspective for me, I started to really practice forgiving myself for things that I've done in the past. Like she said, you've already done the time. You've already you've already done the time. You've already got the receipts. Um, and so that really helped me. Definitely the support of, my girlfriend, my friends has helped me tremendously. And also just forgiving myself that has been the leg of this journey, of
Well, I
this
mean,
part of the journey.
so important for us, for really for the self-love part, the self-love, self-care. I think in this new season, I'm not the only, spiritualist that is saying that everybody needs to kind of be looking at self, looking within, looking at all of the things that I think the street poet said something about self full, not selfish, because that is, that has a negative connotation, but self full, that you're all about healing yourself, about, and part of loving yourself is forgiving yourself for those mistakes that you made while under the influence, while
Hmm.
to get high or drunk or anything while coming down from being high or drunk, or just trying to be a functioning drunk, or
Yeah,
drug user or something like that. Those There's some things that we do, you know to feed our habit that hurts other people.
yeah.
So what is what I know I don't want to go all into your personal business and all that, but like what's one of the things that you can share with us that you've had to forgive yourself for?
Um, One of the things I've had to forgive myself for is how I treated friends, how I treated how I treated people. Um, that's where I felt the most guilt. Um, because I mean, I would like to think that I'm a good person naturally, but when I was under the influence, I was belligerent, I was an asshole. I will cuss you out. I will shut the party down. It's not fun.
Okay,
Um,
the whole thing.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
it's not fun. So, forgiving myself for how I treated others because I never want to make anyone feel like they're less than, or I never want to hurt anyone's feelings or anything like that. Um, so that was probably a good portion of like where my guilt and shame
Do
is
those
how
do
I
those
treated others.
haunt you? Like I know for me, for example, when when something happens to me and it's kind of karmic, you know, or even if it's just something bad, and I can think like this has got to be karma for what I did in this situation to this person, in because it's like the karma that comes back to you. It's like that that's what that's for, for those different things in your life. But I think that God brings us to those places so that we can ask for forgiveness, because that's part of salvation, repentance, and deliverance, is
Yeah,
that we know the sins of commission, the ones we committed and we know we committed, and the ones of omission where we may not, be fully cognizant that our actions caused the hurt of another person. But karma always brings it right back to bear in the exact spot. At least that's how it happens for me. What about you?
um I don't think that it happens for me in that way, because I'm so quick to check myself on how I'm treating someone else,
Right.
and I immediately feel the effects of that. So when I feel it, I don't think that karma works for me in that regard because I don't think that it works for me like that.
How
And
do you know that what you're seeking forgiveness for, is it just stuff that just comes to mind randomly, or like is there some sort of a trigger?
well, I do a lot of talking about how I acted during my sobriety. So when I talk about like my experiences and stuff like that, those
Yeah.
are the moments where it's like, oh shit, I was I was acting an ass. And then I would have to check myself and make sure that I'm not doing that in real time anymore. And also, I feel like I have PTSD from that experience because I will get flashbacks. I will remember times where like uh, that wasn't cool. So I will like have those memories that will pop up about it, and I think that's how it shows up for me.
So, do you have a process that you take yourself through as you're on this journey? And do any of these moments of self-forgiveness like make you feel like um, you know, backsliding at all?
Not backsliding at all. I could never go back. I think that I would rather die than to do that just because of what it came with, and is it worth it to go down that road? There are times where I still have to like check myself, and um especially on a day-to-day basis, I have to remember who I am at the end of the day. Like
Mhm.
especially once the milestones are extended more, um, well, for a longer duration, I just have to remember who I am now and not focus on who I used to be because I can get tied up into that sometimes. Um, and my process, I don't feel like I have one like where it's like, oh, I go through this step and this step. I think it's kind of just navigating my feelings and emotions at that time. Um, but if I do start to think about a thought where I start putting myself down, or I start to overthink things from my past,
Mhm.
I will tell myself in that moment when I do hear that thought that, hey, I forgive myself for this time period.
Right.
It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay that that's how you used to be, but you are such more now. And
Mhm.
always checking myself on those thoughts. So I think that's a that's probably a good permanent process,
Mhm.
but it varies for different things.
So, is this part more mental for you and getting over those demons where you're not craving alcohol, you're not craving anything that would make you physically inebriated?
Yes, uh, I don't think that alcoholics have a drinking problem. We have a thinking problem. And we drink to cope with, our emotions, and especially society has brainwashed us to believe that, oh, well, I can have this drink and I'll feel better, or I'll feel more confident, or I'll feel whatever you need to feel at that moment. And there are times where I could literally taste alcohol in my mouth and I haven't had anything to drink in over 2 years. But I still have to tell myself, like,
You still got the taste in your mouth. Oh my.
still. And
Wow.
I still have to tell myself, like, no, play the tape out. What does this look like for your life? Do you really want to end up blacked out in a whole new city? I have to think about those things. And I wouldn't say that it's like every time that I go out or anything like that, but it's still an everyday process,
Hmm.
especially being in the society that we're in.
Right.
It's literally everywhere.
Because having a drink is almost, the social norm. You
Yeah,
know, that's you're exactly right. I want to go back to the even with the self-forgiveness and the shame. Are these things, now you said these are things that you know that you've done to people in situations. What about what you've done to yourself? What about those times? I know when, the first time I ever got drunk, my biggest regret was how I felt about
yeah,
not just about myself, but how I felt physically. How I felt physically after a hangover was that was enough for me to not ever be a drinker because I just overdid it the first time, you know.
yeah,
But having the taste in your mouth, I understand because even the smell of alcohol, the smell of another person getting sick or throwing up,
yeah,
having been drunk will make my completely 100% sober self sick.
yeah, yeah. Um, I don't think that I really got to the point where I physically had symptoms. Like I didn't get any shakes or anything like that. Um, I look back at I look back at my addiction period as as a war zone
Oh wow.
that I survived because I could have died. I've ended up in jail so many times. I've been blacked out. I've woke up in hospitals. I've There's so many things that I've gone through,
Mhm.
and that's how I look. It was literally a battle every day with myself and my bottle. And
Yeah.
so I think that's the strongest. I look back and I think that, damn, like I don't know anyone that strong. So I don't look at it as like self-pity. I look at it as like I'm a warrior. Like I
Right.
deserve I deserve this. I fought for this.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
so, yeah, outside of people, if I never really hurt anyone,
Mhm.
or I mean, that would just be a war with myself at the end of the day. And I'm I've never been more proud of who I am, but I needed to go through that to get to me now.
Even
And
the
so,
right
exactly.
realization that you're worth the battle, you're worth the
Yeah,
fight. You're,
yeah.
I love hearing you describe it in that context. As a matter of fact, I'm probably gonna title the name of the interview, "The Battle with the Bottle." But being your own hero, being the
Yeah,
one that come like not looking for someone else to come to a rescue, not looking for a sponsor or your wife or anybody else to come to your rescue, but that you're
yeah.
your own hero, that you stood up for yourself against the bottle and, the whole battle with that. What have you been doing over the last year? I see that you released a song or two, and you've gotten back into the battlefield, the true battle. I see
The
when
true
you
battlefield. The true battlefield. Honestly, I've just been working. I've been working on myself. Um, I have put down music a little bit more, uh, but I am getting back into a very creative space, and I think that this time around I'm going to do a lot more of sharing my story
hmm
and sharing my experiences in life, and not focus so much on what I think people want to hear.
You know what? That is profound because that's why you even had this this, and I don't want to say obstacle, but that's, I think, the reason that you've had this thing to do this, and it's really a gift,
Yeah,
honestly. Um, and you'd have to look at the journey as a
yeah,
gift, because when you get to the end of the journey, or, and I don't think the journey ever really ends, but as you go to different levels, as you, you know, discover new things, other people need to hear about it. Other people need to know. And even if you're anything like me, and I think that you are, your message is that if I can get through it, anybody can get through it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. To not even have that, to take that expectation of failure out of
yeah,
that is, you, as you take one step at a time, as you go along through the journey, taking those, even if you're just moving through a cycle of, okay, now this is where I am. Now I got to move through this cycle. When you level up, that's, things do change, and
yeah.
it, some fresh new insight. What's some fresh new insight that you've gotten over this last year?
Fresh new insights. Fresh new insight. Hmm. I think because I'm on this wave of self forgiveness that, man, it's okay to make mistakes. It
It's
really is.
okay
And
sometimes.
and I think that because especially when we're younger, that, oh, you make a mistake, and for me, my mistakes would cost me an ass whooping or mental abuse and so many other things. So I would always be afraid to make mistakes. But it's also the reason why I was so hard on myself
Mhm.
and why I could never forgive myself for making mistakes because I was never afforded that privilege. I was never seen as like, oh, it's okay to make a mistake.
Mhm.
It's okay. You're human. No, it's like, why didn't you think about this? And I can't
Mhm.
believe that you did that and blase blah. Oh my god, bruh. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm 6 years old. How am I how am I supposed to know that? And so
But you
I
know what?
definitely,
That's a good lesson even for us that are 10 times 6.
yeah,
Sometimes when people make a mistake, they only make the mistake according to their own knowledge, according to,
yeah,
not even knowing that they made a mistake. And so we have
yeah,
to give them the benefit of the doubt to say, you know what, maybe it could be that you just did not know.
yeah. I think that we tend to think that people think that, we tend to think that people think like us versus communicating and like understanding that like not everyone is out to get you, and it may be an honest mistake. It may be something that they weren't aware of, and it really is okay if, listen, it is okay. You will be fine. Is this gonna matter in a year? Is it gonna matter in five? And I think that I'm starting to um, operate from that space because, listen, I'm tired of beating myself up. It's old. It's
Hmm.
old. Not
Ain't nobody
only am
like you can beat you up, right? Because you know all your soft spots,
yeah, it's
all of your unhealed places too, because we
hmm
still have some unhealed places. And even you mentioned shame. before, having to live up or live down, to live down those things that, that might have um, caused you some shame, that caused you to be like, oh God, what was I doing here? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your future plans? I know you've been in the studio, right? Have you been in the battle ring?
Oh man. I haven't been any negotiations as far as like battles. Not saying that I won't battle or anything like that. I may.
Did I
It
see an
may
old
happen.
something? I thought
Huh?
I saw you doing a street battle here recently.
My latest battle was versus Sasquatch Josh.
Yeah. When
That
was
was
that?
my last battle. That was last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
because it
yeah.
came up like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I'm focused more on how do I help people with my message?
Hmm.
Like that's kind of where I am right now. How do I help people with my story, with my experience, with just who I am?
Hmm.
How can I help inspire people to be better, do better,
Hmm.
know more? Um, I think that's where I am right now in life, whether that's music or just in life. I don't think that I don't use my sobriety as I don't think that my sobriety is for me. I think that it's more for those who are like me, but they haven't reached the point of like where they're tired of their own bullshit or whether they don't know what to do. Because I was at a point where I didn't know what to do. Nobody who looked like me were sober around me.
Oh, wow.
So
That's tough.
that's I think that's where I'm at right now is how is getting my message out and helping others with my music or with sharing my experience. Now, if it comes down to battling, that's a whole new world. That's a whole new world. I'm not gonna be so nice.
I
I'm not
know
gonna be nice at all.
what sometimes, like good old Jack said in A Few Good Men, sometimes you can't handle the truth, but the
Yeah,
truth is necessary.
yeah,
Truth of what? Because see, someone can look at your situation just from the outside looking in your 2 years of sobriety and feel like there's no way I can get there. You know,
mm,
because people are not like right there during the night sweats, the nightmares, the battle with the bottle. Do I take a drink? Do I don't? Knowing what the outcome is if you do, knowing what the struggle is if you don't. It's you know
yeah.
people don't see that part,
Hmm.
of the battle, the stuff that no one else sees, the stuff that even your wife or girlfriend won't see, your family won't see. Hey Tasia,
Yeah.
where you at? Join the live, just send an invitation. But so as you're trying to to not just get the message out, but share your story in a way that someone can embrace it and say that this is what I'm doing. What are you doing right now as far as achieving that goal of sharing your story to the point of assisting others?
I think right now, I I actually go to this group. It's called Sober Black Girls, and they are so important to our community because when I was in AA, it was mainly like white men, white women. I didn't like, even though we were all getting sober, I didn't feel like I belonged there. And then
Uh-huh.
I experienced racism on top of that and homophobia and all this other shit. So I think that even with my celebrations or when I tell stories about, yo, I went through this and this really affected my decision to be sober now. And especially when I talk to people about my experience, about the hardships, I think that there's no greater gift than that because that's what helped me. When I first went to AA, I heard people's stories. I still remember this story to this day. Like this woman was drunk and she had blacked out. She was smoking a cigarette and she lit her house on fire. So
Mm,
I know how bad it could get. I know how far it could go. Hey, if this is my bottom right now, I don't want to hear a knock underneath. I don't want to hear a knock from the floor. I don't want to know that it goes that low.
yeah.
So if I can share my experience and help people that way, I mean that's what I'm doing. Like I have to. I have to.
So tell me what a bad day looks like on this journey.
What a bad day looks like. What a bad day looks like. A bad day looks great compared to my past. That's what it looks like.
I can dig it. I'll take that.
Honestly, because if I had bad days, oh, listen, I'm about to black out
Hmm.
back then. So, hey, man, this is my bad days are great.
That's
Listen, I'm gonna listen to my favorite songs. I'm gonna put on the Spice Girls and like really get in tune with my spirit and man, listen,
right.
I don't believe that there could be a bad. I don't think there could be a bad day. Like there's no comparison.
I bet. Okay. I bet. We were supposed to have a couple other guests. I saw Tammy came up and then it says Tasia made it, but I don't know how to add them to the live. Um, are you guys
Maybe
Tasia and Tammy? I don't know if you have because it'll give me a suggestion to invite somebody, but I don't have the ability to add. I don't know. I don't even know
if
how to.
they click on multi guest, I think that they can send a request that way.
Tasia and Tammy, do y'all hear that instruction? If you click on multi-guest now, where do I find that? Or I
It should be
can't.
at the bottom. Like it'll say camera, mic, multi guest, rose gift.
I don't have that option.
Let me see.
So, guys, check out. Go and see if you can. You think they have to request it?
Yeah,
Also,
they would
check
have to
on
request
the
it.
Facebook page and see if it's a possibility to add to hers. This is actually my first time actually even trying to do this, but TikTok is an awesome platform, and it's
Yeah.
been awesome for me. So we were going to talk about a few other things there. Yes.
You're
Huh?
what up, big dog?
Let's see. So, the next step of your sobriety journey, what's 2023 looking like for you?
Um, 2023. What does that look like? What does that look like for me? Definitely gonna dive a lot more into my music. Like I said, I have to tell my story and I have to tell my experience and do it in do it in an in a way that I know how.
Right.
Like these are all new ways. Like I myself back then, I what talk to people about my feelings. Listen. So now it's like, okay, now I'm learning how to communicate and express myself and things like that. But now I feel like I'm at a point where, okay, I'm ready to tell my story. I'm ready to tell it all. And even things that don't have to do with alcoholism,
Right.
um, just life, things that I know that other people have gone through.
Right.
And yeah, that's where I'm at with 2023 is
Speaking of that,
is
I
telling my story.
right. I told you that I wanted to discuss the Brittany Griner ordeal. Okay,
Yeah.
now her issue was not alcohol, so to speak, but her bout with substances got
Hmm.
her into a Russian prison for over a year.
Yeah.
Almost, was it like 294 days?
Yeah.
The most part of a year. And wow, okay.
It's crazy. It's
You
it's
mentioned going
literally insane.
several times because of your addiction, right?
Yeah.
Because of the alcohol.
Yeah.
Several times. I can't imagine a Russian prison, being a black woman in a Russian prison for possession. I can't imagine, and if she was treated in any kind of fair way, I can only imagine that being because she was, an American athlete, celebrity
Yeah.
type thing, where they didn't want to have, any issues as far as, excuse me, treating her poorly. But just the fact of being in a Russian prison, whether they treated you well or not, just being in a Russian prison for the substances had to be a horrific ordeal. Can
Yeah.
you relate in any kind of way to what she might have been feeling or thinking or going through?
Um I I mean, I know that she was caught with like vape pens, and even though that is some form of addiction in itself, we don't view it the same. Um but honestly, I it's just a scary situation to even think about. I couldn't imagine. Like I've been to jail
Yeah.
and I've been to jail plenty of times, but being in a whole nother country where you literally don't have any family, you literally don't speak the language, and they're already not fond of black people, not saying that America is, but it's not the same. So I couldn't imagine how she was feeling and how she was treated. Um, I feel like they should have did something a lot sooner. They should have tried to figure out a way to get her home a lot sooner. the same way that they did Palm Colored Woman.
Hmm.
And yeah, my heart goes out to her. It's really sad to think about. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're glad that she's back home. You know,
Yes, extremely
what
happy.
you know, if we had to
Yeah,
pray harder for our girl, then I'm glad that they were able to at least do that. You know.
yeah, yeah.
So you mentioned some spirituality things, and of course, you know, I'm a spiritual practitioner. How has your journey, how has spirituality affected your journey? What have you had to learn new?
Um, I'm not even gonna hold you. Lately, I haven't been tapped in like that. Um, I think I just kind of fell off. Uh, just because of life, the everyday working and things like that. Um, so I don't think that I've learned anything new as far as like spirituality and stuff. But the times that I do check in and I may meditate here or there, or I may listen to my affirmations or things like that. I know that it always makes me feel better,
Hmm.
but it's just everyday life. Like, kind of just fell off of it. So I'm not even gonna hold you. I have nothing to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, so what do you want to learn as you go through your journey and you know, the next phase of your journey? Like, how are you, what's your plan? Like, what's your plan of action, honey?
Um, I really do want to get back into meditating and my candle work and things like that. Um,
Do you think that it makes a difference? Or do you think that a person can do this journey without tapping in spiritually?
I think it's really based on the person. Like it just depends. Everybody has their thing that works for them because honestly, music helps me more, not even my own music, but just music, listening to it, the lyrics, uh, that helps me the most, more than anything ever could. That helps, that helps keep me going. Um, and it's really hard to say that, that maybe it could, maybe it couldn't, because I really don't know. I haven't really been on my P's and Q's with it.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I have, but there, I mean, there is a difference. I do notice a difference in when I meditate versus not meditating. I'll be a lot more heady or, things like that. But I've been doing a lot more of checking my own thoughts and being mindful of what I'm thinking about, running my thoughts by people, um, and expressing what's really going on in my head because a lot of the times I will stay trapped in my head
Mhm.
and I won't talk about it. But I think that that's more of a spiritual practice for me because it's helping me grow as a person.
Right. Well, see, and that's kind of the thing that I was kind of alluding to because sometimes people put spirituality in a box of like religion, certain rules that you have to do this, and this in order
Yeah,
to call yourself spiritual,
yeah,
when it's really um, being spiritual is really just allowing yourself to deal with the truth, be able to decipher truth from error. You know,
Yeah.
that's what causes us to grow. Do you feel like your lyrics and your approach to songwriting is going to be different over the next year as you're preparing to tell your story?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Okay. Well,
I
the
think that,
write the vision, so you just all you have to do is just write it out, right?
yeah, I think that the approach that I'm thinking of is more of a DMX meets Lupe fiasco.
Oh,
That's
well, I
more of
but I don't know
that's
Luke, but that sounds like
that's more of the approach that I can hear that I'm having, and I just want to make sure that I put forth the right type of energy behind it,
right.
and like really get back into poetic shit, like
Yes.
my lyricism, and not dumbing it down, really saying what I want to say.
That's important. Please don't dumb it down because
Yeah,
it's those hard hitting, you know, words and lyrics that really dig into a person's soul. You can't sugarcoat it, okay? So this
yeah,
is energy from me, no sugarcoat nothing, okay?
yeah,
that we deal with the truth, whether anyone can handle it or not. Okay,
yeah.
but handling the truth is a personal. Okay, that's right, honey. Give it to him raw, cut, filter, no faking, no fronting, no folding.
Yeah,
All- I know, and listening and following your career, I know you can go hard. There's a flip though. There's gonna I know me per, that there's gonna be a difference in your lyrics on this side of the journey. But he
yeah,
never held back before, even before the sobriety, you know. If
yeah.
you didn't hold back then, and I don't feel you did, you may have, I don't know. If you didn't hold back then, don't hold back now, you know.
I definitely did hold back a lot.
You did.
I did. I did.
So who
I feel like I hmm?
that you, Tasia? Bro, mouth almighty, bro, mouth almighty. Let me see if I can figure this out. Hold on a second. Okay, let me figure it out, honey. Let me figure this out.
DAJT.TV. We're about to get into the next battle at the East Coast versus West Coast event. Standing to the left is JC. He's going to introduce the MC to the left. Alright. But to the left, straight from Philly, we got Zan. Go ahead and holler at him. Make some noise for us. Show us some love. And standing to the right, y'all know who he is. A-Game Artie. Introduce the MC to the right.
Check. She in the octagon. She ready to go. Y'all already know. Stud Phamous. Show us some love.
One more noise. Go!
Don't let that last battle fool you. Hold up. Don't let that last battle fool you. I spit beyond bukus. Shoot you to your melon, licking fruit juice. I get to poking this dog like it's voodoo. I mean, who knew? I got different flows, different rhymes. I'll kill it any day, anytime. I let that semi fly, that shit got a stutter. Sound like it's Timmy time. And rub me the wrong way? Please. Fame been gay. You student, I'm sensei. My freestyles is cool, but you'll die like Joe Paterno for what my pen state. Bitch, wait. Cause I'm all in your grill. You won't rip the steel. Old boy got beef and Xanax pop like prescription pills. You praying Jesus. Grip the wheel, banana clip your Vegas pill. Go home and your kids is killed. See, I set this whole up. think I like it and strap on my dick, then I'm a deep sea piper. I'm a kissing goodnighter.
CRM, it stands for Customer Relationship Management, and it could revolutionize the way you run your business. So how do you pick the right?
Then have different niggas spinning at the top like a cipher. Her fake ass got 3 faces. Child support, 43 cases. This bitch done burnt more rubbers than street racers. Let me tell you, your bars, weak, basic, you're 26, 3 kids, and no career. Where the fuck do you think you're about to go from here? Oh, I see. You trying to reap the benefits of my penmanship and all the dicks you lick? You're the only bitch I know with EBT, unlimited, and another thing. That weed was terrible. You go ahead.
All right, come on. All right, make some noise for Stud Phamous, y'all.
I said this is West versus East Coast. You see Philly crash this event, and I heard this bitch was digging dirt. So this round I'ma cover all ground like cement. Words like heavy metal, if they get the dumping, there's nothing in this hoe could bulldoze my word construction. See, I'm a realist, and it's world full of make-believe. I heard you asked around about my real name. Well, bitch, it's Zen Relief. And you's a badass bitch if I heard, you's a badass bitch if you found me around with Zen Relief, because the only thing I can come up with was Zen's a G. They get bread like Zen, move white like Kimberly's, and love to put on the show like assemblies. Zen will put you to sleep. Burr, I'm colder than skis. And I'm saying that a kick from that nigga Jet Li. So let's see. That was Zen Lee. I just showed you how my name flipped. So you can go ahead and say all that lame shit you came with. Zen is the fuck here. And bitch, you asked for this. Lady Caution, Shay Paul with some 215 savages. You better scheme, so all that means is you's an average bitch. That's about to get added to the list of bitches' ass I kick. Now what she gonna say? I look like I suck a mean dick? Well, I do. Mother of grace always never for me to son you. Now follow my lead and shut the fuck up like a son do. I'm cocaine fresh. You was dirty as a bundle with that stock and break my guarantee. It'll run you. Really is a bitch.
So I'm killing every hope y'all had in this fraud. I'm spitting till my vocals is raw. You don't got niggas running up, quoting your bars. If you lose, you die. Better yet, commit suicide. I'm Pat Summit. I stay coaching these broads. I'm battling you. It's something to prove. I know I look like a dude, y'all, but what's her excuse? You strong-faced bitch. Let's switch the topic a bit. Oh, how about Taylor? Your kid. Here we go. What you think she gonna say when Taylor gets big? Well, my mom's a hoe that got 7 baby daddies and 8 other kids. A lazy bitch that let niggas plank on her ribs. I cut the little bitch off. I strangled her with the bib and started poking at her body. I'm trying to tailor her fit. And you ain't gonna do shit. Bitch, I heard them lips could suck juice out the grapevine. And I'll beat your ass. No stairs, kicks, or baseline. My crew, killers. So if I fall my niggas, her head in a box, no FaceTime. You right. I'm the one with the cock for sure. She begging me to cock her more, but when I cock the floor, you coming from the east, right? Good, you'll die in your face like you box Shakur. They set you up for murder, you ain't even know it. You fucking all these niggas, bitch, you hoish. You wanna have a kid, couldn't even vote it. The baby falling out shit, you wouldn't even notice. And your bars fucking suck. I was prostate in your father's nuts and AIDS in your mama's blood. If I don't kill you this round, I'm coming back like karma does.
All right, make some noise for Stud Phamous, y'all.
On Sam right now. I said this is not about who win or lose. I came to school mass abuse. So I do the shit for the letters that came before and after you. Don't think about it, that's TV.